Hello guys, welcome back again to another tutorial. My name is Dorothy. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to sew this beautiful dress you see me putting on right now. It is structured bustier dress with this trending ruffle sleeve. In my previous video, we did everything pattern drafting. So in today's video, we are going to be doing the sewing. If you have not seen that video where we did the pattern drafting, I'm going to leave the link of the video in the description box and also on the end screen, so make sure you click on that video, watch it before you watch this one. Okay, I don't want you missing out on any details. Without wasting too much of your time, let's get started with this video. Like I said at the beginning of the video, in my previous video we've done the pattern drafting. So as you can see now, I've transferred the pattern on the fabric. So I used the pattern to cut both on the main fabric and on the lining piece. This particular pieces you see me holding is the back piece as it is labeled, and on the side here I went on to add my sewing allowance. When I was drafting the pattern, I did not add any sewing allowance. I added 1.5 inch sewing allowance. You can do 2 inches if you want. So these pieces right here are both my center front, that is both the lining and the main fabric. Okay, and as you can see, all of these pieces I have iron interfacing on them. I used light gum stain and light wording. You can use ST if you want. If you don't know how to iron gum stain, wording or ST on your bustier pieces, let me know in the comment section so I will make a detailed tutorial about it. As you can see on the back pieces, these are the main fabric and these are the lining piece. You will not be able to differentiate them because they are almost similar. Let me keep all these pieces aside, and here is the side front. When I was cutting out the side front, I added my sewing allowance and it's 1.5 inch sewing allowance. I have both the lining piece and the main fabric here. So that's pretty much about it. Now let's go ahead and put all these pieces together to make our dress. So we are going to be working with the front pieces first. So this is my center front and this is my side front right here. So these are the pieces we are going to be working with. I'm going to keep the back pieces one corner. Later we'll work on that. Now we are going to separate the lining piece from the main fabric, and we are going to keep the lining piece aside while we work with the main pieces. So on this my center front on the main fabric, my interfacing is showing on it, so I just want to trim it out a bit so it doesn't show. After doing that, I'm going to pick my side front, both the left and the right one. I'm going to pick it up like this, then I will place it on the center front, right side facing each other. Now you can go ahead and use your office pen to hold it together, or you can take it directly to the sewing machine and sew all the way following how you draft it. Okay, so make sure you just take your time to sew if you're not using your office pen to hold it together. You see the way I am directing it, that's exactly how you're going to be sewing around the curve to give you that bust structure. So I'm going to head over to the sewing machine now and I'm going to sew this. Then on the lining piece, I'm going to do the same thing. Place the side front on the center front like this, right side facing each other. Then I'll take it over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew it following the curve, and I'll be doing the same thing to the second side as well. Now on my back pieces, I'm going to be sewing the dart. So the first thing I'm going to do, because it will be too bulky for me to notch, I'm going to separate the main fabric from the lining piece. Then I will place my pattern paper on it just the way you see me doing. After that, I'm just going to notch the dart area so that when I'm sewing the dart, I will know where the dart point is. If all your dart points are not notched, to make it easier for you to sew, just go ahead and notch the dart point. Okay, now that I am done notching the point, the next thing I'm going to do is to fold the notch point like this. You see how I'm doing it? So I'm just going to fold it like this. Then I will take it over to the sewing machine and I'm going to sew this by the 1/2 inch sewing allowance that I left. And I'm going to do the same thing right on the second piece as well. Fold the notch point. Then I will take it over to the sewing machine and I'm going to run a stitch on the dart. So I'm going to repeat the same thing on the lining pieces as well. So guys, this is what I have after I was done sewing the bustier curve. You can see how nice it looks. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to use my scissors to notch around this curve area so that by the time I iron it, it's going to come out looking nice. That is, the bust cup will sit really nice. So go ahead and do the same thing. Use your scissors to notch around the curve area, and after I am done notching, I'm going to take this to the ironing table and give this a good ironing. I will do the same thing on the lining piece as well, and also my back pieces. I've already sewed that, so I'm just going to be ironing it out. Now the next thing we are going to be working on is the skirt part. I told you all how we come about this dart line you're seeing right now, so I've already sewn the dart. After I was done with that, I went on to iron hard collar gum to give it more structure. I ironed the collar gum both on the front piece and also on the back pieces, as you can see. Then for the lining piece, I ironed gum stay on it instead. Now I wanted the skirt part to be really structured, and also when I wash the dress, I don't want the structure to fade out on time, collar gum to fade out, so I wanted to add some boning to it. But unfortunately, the boning that I got from the market was not enough, and as at the time I was making the dress, I was in a hurry. I couldn't get more boning. I'm showing you all this so that later in the video you don't get confused and say, why is this line here in the first place? So now that you know, I'm going to edit this part of the video. Let's go straight to the important part. Now that I couldn't get boning to give the skirt more structure, the next thing I'm going to do is to fix the lining piece on it. So after placing the front piece like this, I'm going to come with the lining piece and I'm going to place it on it right side facing each other. Now I'm going to head over to the sewing machine and I'm going to join it on the both side and also on the length. Okay, what I did when I was cutting the lining piece, I made sure that the length of the lining piece is not the same with the main fabric. The lining piece is shorter by 1 inch than the main fabric is. So to join it properly, you're going to first of all join the length first. After that, then you go ahead and join the both side. I'm going to do the same thing to the back pieces as well. I will place the back pieces, then place the lining piece on it right side facing each other. After that, I'm just going to take it over to the sewing machine and I'm going to first of all join the length. After that, I will arrange it properly and join the both side just the way you see me directing. I will do the same thing to the second side of the back piece as well. If you are not new to this channel, you will know that this is how we normally sew our skirt part so that the lining piece will not be showing out. So guys, this is what I have it looking like after I was done sewing. You can see that I first of all sewed the length. After that, I went on to arrange the both side, then I joined it together. So now I'm just going to dip my hand through this waistline and I'm going to turn this over to the right side. So you're going to go ahead and do the same thing. Dip your hand through the waistline and turn it over to the right side. Now for this sharp edge you're seeing, you can go ahead and use sharp object like your scissors to push it out so that everything will remain flat. I went ahead to turn the both back pieces out, then I'm going to take this over to the ironing table and give it a good press. So guys, let's go ahead and draft the sleeve. That is the trendy ruffle sleeve. I have these pieces of fabric that I have already cut out, and what I'm having here is 2 pieces. That is for the both sleeve. Now the measurement I am working with, now for the weight, I'm working with a measurement of 10 inches. Now if you want yours wider, you can go ahead and increase the inches of your width. As for the length, I'll be working with a length of 40 inches, but I added 1 extra inch for joining. Okay, I'll be using that 1 inch, that is half an inch on both sides to join to the dress. So the total length I'll be working with right now is 41 inches. If you want your sleeve to be fuller, you can go ahead and increase the length of your fabric. Now to draft this, I'm just going to fold these 2 pieces into 2 like this. So go ahead and arrange your 2 pieces very well. Fold it into 2 just like I have done. After you are done folding it into 2, you're going to fold it again into another 2 just the way you see me doing. Now on this edge right here, I'm going to come in by 3 inches and I will make a mark. After that, I'm just going to come over here and I'm going to use my chalk to create a kind of curve line from here all all the way to this point I marked 3 inches. You don't really need any measurement for this, but if you must, I think you should just go up by 5 or 6 inches. Then you start creating this type of curve line. Once you are done with that, you're just going to go ahead and use your scissors to cut it out just the way you see me doing. After cutting it out, this is what you should have. Okay, now I'm just going to pick one of the pieces, fold it into 2 like this. Now I'm going to arrange it properly. I will take this over to the sewing machine and I'm just going to sew this. Okay, I'm going to run a stitch from this end all the way down to the other end, and I'm going to do the same thing to the second pieces as well. I'll simply fold it into 2 like this, head over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to run a stitch from this end all the way down to the other end. So let me go and do this and bring it so that you see what we have. So guys, this is what I have it looking like after I was done running a stitch from this end all the way to the other end. Now on this opening here, I also have another one at the other end. I'm going to use this opening to turn this over to the right side. So go ahead and push this out through one of the opening. You can use your scissors to push it out so that everything will come out well. And after you are done turning it over to the right side, this is what it should look like. Okay, now on this piece is looking really rough, so the next thing I'm going to do is to take it over to the ironing table and give it a good ironing. After that, I'm going to turn the second piece out as well. So guys, this is what I have it looking like after I was done ironing. You can see how neat it's looking already, and I have the second pieces as well, but I'm going to keep the second piece aside while we work on this piece first. So I have this elastic band, and I have these 2 different type of it. This one is the 1-inch band, while this one is the 1/2 inch band. Now if your fabric is lightweight and the band is not this wide, go ahead and use this elastic band of 1/2 inch. But if you're working with a heavy fabric like Mikado silk, I will advise you to use this elastic band of 1 inch, because this 1-inch band will be able to hold it together. Now to get the measurement of the elastic band we will be using for the sleeve, when I was drafting the pattern, from the shoulder to the neckline I was working with was 7 inches, which is the same thing for both the front and for the back. So 7 plus 7 is 14 inches, but I'm not going to cut the exact 14 inches. Okay, I'm going to reduce it to 13 inches because I want the sleeve to be firm on my shoulder. Okay, so I measured the 13 inches just as you can see, then I added extra 1 inch again for sewing allowance, making it 14 inches. Then I cut it out. Now I'm going to use my safety pin. I will tack it to the elastic band like this. Then I'm going to pass this elastic band through this opening. So go ahead and do the same thing. Pass your elastic band through the casing. Once this edge of this elastic reach the end here, you're going to use your office pin to hold it down so that it doesn't move inside while we are trying to get to the other edge. Now after you have done securing this edge of the elastic band, you're going to continue passing the elastic band through this casing until the safety pin come out on this edge. Now I'm going to use my office pin to hold this edge down so that this elastic band doesn't go back inside. You can see that our sleeve ruffles has formed. Okay, now I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to block this edge here, and I'm also going to block this other edge here. After I am done with this first sleeve, I'm going to do the same thing to the second one as well. So guys, as you can see, our both sleeve are ready. What do you think? Are they not beautiful? I love the ruffles. Everything comes out perfectly nice. So now the next thing we are going to do is to attach this sleeve to the bustier. So I'm just going to bring my bustier. As you can see, I've already ironed it. You can see how everything is looking flat and nice. Now I'm going to pick my sleeve, place it like this, just the way you see me doing. Then I will use my office pin to hold it down. I'm going to do the same thing to the second sleeve as well. I'll simply place the sleeve on the bustier, just the way you see me doing. After that, I will use my office pin to hold it down. After doing this for the front, I'm going to do the same thing for the back piece as well. So I'm just going to bring my back pieces like this, place it just the way you see me doing. Now I'm going to turn my front piece over like this. Let the right side side of the front piece be facing the right side of the back pieces. Then I'm going to arrange the sleeve on the back piece like this. Then I will use my office pin to hold it down. I will do the same thing to the second side of the back piece as well. I'll simply place the sleeve on the back piece, then I will use my office pin to hold it together. Now you can take this over to the sewing machine and first of all run a top stitch on it, but for me I'm not going to run a top stitch yet. I want to attach the lining to it, so I'll simply place my back piece like this, then I will place my lining piece right side facing each other. Now I'm going to use my office pin to hold these two pieces together just the way you see me doing. After that, I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to join the neckline and the both side just the way you see me directing. I will do the same thing to the second back piece. I will simply place the lining piece on it like this, right side facing each other. Now I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to join the neckline and the both side, leaving the waist for turning. Now you're going to repeat the same thing on the front piece as well. You're simply going to place the front piece like this, then you bring your lining piece, place it on it, right side facing each other. I hope you see how I am placing it. Now you're going to take this over to the sewing machine and you're going to join the neckline all the way through the armhole and the both side, leaving the waistline open for turning. So let me go and do this over my sewing machine and bring it so that you see what we have. So guys, this is what I have after I was done sewing. I went on to sew the neckline, then the both side, leaving that waistline open for turning, and I did the same thing to the back pieces as well. I sewed the neckline, then I went on to sew the both side. Now the next thing I'm going to do on this front piece, I'm going to notch round the neck area so that when I turn this over to the right side, it's going to sit perfectly well. So go ahead and do the same thing. Pick your scissors, notch round the neckline, but while you are notching, be careful so that you don't end up cutting through the thread. After I was done with the front piece, I went on to notch round the back piece as well. On the neckline, I'm going to use my scissors to notch around it just the way you see me doing. After that, I will do the same thing to the second back piece as well. I will simply notch the back neckline. After I was done notching all the pieces, the next thing I'm going to do is to turn this over to the right side. So go ahead and do the same thing. When you are done notching all your pieces, the next thing you're going to do is to turn them over to the right side. As for the edges, you can go ahead and use your scissors or any sharp object to turn them out. I'm going to do the same thing to the back pieces as well. I'll simply go ahead and turn them over to the right side. After I am done turning this over, the next thing I'm going to do is to take them to the ironing table and give it a good press. So guys, this is what I have it looking like after I was done ironing. You can see how neat this is looking, and you can see how our bust shape is well formed. If you want to recreate something like this and your bustier is not looking like this, you are wrong. Okay, now the next thing we are going to do is to place this upper part on the skirt part. So I'm going to bring my skirt part. As you can see, I've already ironed it. I've ironed everything. I'm going to place the front piece on the skirt waistline like this, then I'll take it over to the sewing machine and join them together. So guys, I'm going to repeat the same thing on the back pieces as well. I will simply place the upper part on the skirt part, right side facing each other, then I will take it over to my sewing machine and I'm going to join the waistline together. I will do the same thing to the second back pieces as well. So guys, let me go and do this and bring it so that you see what we have. So guys, this is what I have after I was done joining the upper and the lower bodies together. You can see how neat this is looking. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to join the both back pieces together, right side facing each other. Now I'm going to take this over to the sewing machine and I'm going to run a temporal stitch from the neckline all the way down to the length of the dress, and I'll be sewing this temporal stitch by the zipper allowance that I left, which is 1 inch. So let me go and do this and bring it so that you see what we have. So guys, I'm done running the temporal stitch. The next thing I'm going to do is to arrange both the front and the back pieces properly, then I'll go ahead and join the side. Now when I was drafting this dress, I wanted the dress to be a corset, so I didn't add any sewing allowance to it. because I wanted it a corset. But later I realized that my boning was not enough, so I have to make use of what I have available. So I decided to convert this into a bustier dress. So since I didn't add any sewing allowance, the next thing I'm going to do is to take this over to the sewing machine, and I'm going to join the side by 1/2 inch. And when I am done joining the both side, the next thing I'm going to do is to lose this zipper allowance. Then I'll go ahead and also fix the zipper. So guys, this is what I have after I was done joining the both side and also fix the zipper. Now let me turn this over to the right side so that you see what it looks like. So guys, this is what it looks like on the right side. You can see how beautiful and how neat this looks. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to give this dress a very good ironing, and that's pretty much about it. If you find this video really helpful, do it by giving this video a thumbs up. Do not forget to subscribe if you haven't, and if you have any style inspiration that you want us to recreate, let me know in the comment section. For now, bye. I will see you all in my next video.